Hey Marsh, remember that movie They Call Me Bruce?
God, this sounds like a boring conversation. Alright, think fast. Travis loves that Bruce guy from Evil Darkness or whatever. Just keep it vague.
Yeah, great flick. Bruce is great.
I know, right? I was just thinking about that ending.
Chills.
Yeah. Oh, remember that goldfish scene?
Truly the highlight of cinema.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, never mind. See you later. What was your favorite part?
What?
Of the movie. Your favorite part.
His chin?
You've never seen it, have you?
No. I was hoping you'd make your dumb reference and go away.
Well, I was going to, but you fucked it up. Now we do it the hard way.
The hard way?
Ow, 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 ow.
Just... That's a catchy song. Hello, and welcome to the first episode of Movies I Know You Haven't Seen. Don't lie to me. Or as I like to call it, is that too long of a title? I should look into that. My name is Travis Kyler, and I know what you're thinking. Who is this guy, and why should I waste my precious free time watching him over the rest of YouTube? Well, we all have that one pompous friend who claims to be a film buff and has seen every fucking movie in the world. They have a rather loud opinion on every movie you watch together. They annoy you with trivia you don't care about. This show is dedicated to supplying you with the ammo you need to throw it back in their stupid smug face. Today's topic is They Call Me Bruce, a 1982 kung fu comedy film starring stand-up comedian Johnny Yoon. Let's dive in. Still running, huh? Marsh, hand me the remote. Jesus, this film has more running than your average Tom Cruise movie. Our main character, who we will come to know as Bruce, is running back to his dying grandfather, also played by Johnny Yoon. Before he passes, he gives Bruce the greatest life lesson one can hope to learn in a movie like this.
Money is not the most important thing in life. The most important thing is broad.
Look at his face. Even the kid is like, what the fuck, Grandpa? He tells Bruce that he met a beautiful woman in New York, and that if Bruce can find her, she will take care of him. Years pass, and Bruce is a chef for an LA mob boss, Lil Pete.
So, why does he go to LA? Why not go directly to New York?
You know, Marshall, that is a well thought out question, and I'm glad you asked. It lets me know you're paying attention. But don't ever pause one of my movies again. Honestly, it's because the movie came out right in the middle of a large uptick of road trip movies in the late 70s and 80s, and they wanted a road trip. It's really that simple.
Pure.
Elsewhere in LA, the Mafia is getting taken down by a group of undercover FBI agents, / kung fu masters, / part-time defense attorneys.
You have the right to an attorney. If in the event you cannot afford one, I'm available.
To scare his mafiosos, the boss of bosses calls the LA branch to threaten them about not losing another shipment. To really drive his point home, he grabs a goldfish from his tank, eats it, and forces his cronies to listen to the smacking sounds for an uncomfortable amount of time. At first, this sounds like a baller move, but I remind you, he is on speakerphone and they can't see him. Other than a vague mention of sushi meat, he doesn't explain what he's doing. Here, listen to the audio and tell me why they're intimidated.
I'm going to make sashimi out of you. Is the last fish that I'm going to eat. The next meal will be you.
Is this just a common thing for him to do? Eat raw fish on speakerphone? How many fish has he gone through? I don't know, but that's a big tank for only a few small fish. Bruce finds himself at a bar and meets one of the FBI agents, Anita. 3 guys on the other side of the room are hooting at her and use pickup lines that you just know were old, even in 1982.
Hey, if you're looking for Mr. Right, I'm right here. How about some tequila, Sheila?
I can take those guys out with
He talks himself up, but when the guys come over, Bruce escapes through the bathroom window. When he gets home, he fantasizes about beating up the guys and impressing the girl. He gets a little carried away and hurts himself while pretending to be like Bruce Lee. Of course, seeing the danger in that, he takes a step down to imitating Rocky. And failing that, he signs up for classes at the dojo. They will film The Karate Kid in 2 years.
Hello? Dojo Studio? What the hell are you talking about, you son of a bitch? I'll sue you for every yen you have, you stupid damn son of a...
I've rewatched this part 12 times and I still have no idea what he's saying at the end there. That's pretty impressive, actually. No. Bruce is there for about 5 minutes total before getting kicked out of the class.
I will kill you!
Master, you're out of control!
Ah, you son of a...
He goes to the store to buy eggs when he already has 3 cartons at home. The fuck are in those eggs?
Are these eggs fresh?
Hell no, Bruce, they ain't fresh. The store is getting robbed, and Bruce lucks into knocking out the robber with the nunchucks before taking himself out too. The police arrive with 2 different sets of reporters. Slow news day, I guess. They take one look at the unconscious Bruce and begin arresting him. The cashier stops them, claiming Bruce pulled off some major kung fu shit and is a hero. The next day, Lil Pete sees the article about Bruce in the paper while teaching his hooker how to read, and calls the boss of bosses, saying he's sending Bruce on a cross-country road trip to hand-deliver the drugs. Meanwhile, Bruce gets jumped by one of those all-inclusive, multi-denominational street gangs that stalked the streets of LA in the 80s. This dude has a swastika and an SS on his shirt and is running around in a gang run by a kung fu black man. It really was a more understanding and liberal time in the 80s. Bruce talks his way out of the situation, and for 2 self-proclaimed kung fu dudes, this fight devolves rather quickly into a mess. Bruce grabs some breakfast and is hounded by cops for walking around with his nunchucks in his pocket. As usual, he outsmarts the situation. Well, gee, I guess he got us there. I love how this scene is immediately preceded by this one at the Mafia compound. Look, this guy has a law rocket launcher and no one gives him shit. Lil Pete has enlisted a crony, Freddy, to drive Bruce, and they swap out flour bags with the dope. Outside, Big Al, a hopeful replacement for Lil Pete, spies on them. He takes the news to his overbearing enforcer Carmen, and the 2 plan to steal the drugs before Bruce gets to New York and let Lil Pete take the blame, thus securing their spot as bosses of the West Coast. On his way to work, Anita stops him, claims she is now his girlfriend, and gives him a necklace. You know, as hot LA women tend to do.
You're very brave. Go steady.
The necklace is of course bugged, and what luck, Bruce is immediately tasked with delivering the flower, ending in New York. Bruce is ecstatic.
New York?
Freddy gets uncomfortably excited about the description of Bruce's new girlfriend.
Yeah. Did you touch any? Well, I mean, you didn't have, but if you could.
And if that's not enough to make Lil Pete reconsider Freddy, he almost kills a guard on his way out, and the trip begins. First stop, Las Vegas, where Freddy immediately abandons Bruce to take a hooker up to his room, while Bruce wins big on the slot machine. There, he meets Carmen, who talks her way into his room. After a quick run-in with the Jewish Mafia run by the Dalai Lama, Bruce takes a shower where Carmen makes her first attempt to steal the drugs. Anita, presumably already knowing Carmen's plan, sneaks in and the two kung fu fight. Then wrestle on the bed. Then ineffectually roll around in the sheets until they get tired and take a nap. Bruce, for whatever reason, sees Anita in bed and doesn't question why she's in Vegas.
So why doesn't he recognize her? He's seen her like 3 times already. Now you need to hit play, right?
Freddy enters, gets ridiculously upset, and pulls the blanket back, revealing a woman he should recognize, but also doesn't. He kicks them out, and the two presumably walk to the lobby and just go their separate ways. Seriously, Anita, arrest her. Back on the road, the guys are arguing and get pulled over. Trying to make friends with the police, Bruce tries to get the officers to taste some of his famous flour. I love that line. They turn it down and insult him, but with nothing to get him for, the police let them go. Then, through a small misunderstanding, the police believe Bruce is trying to bribe them. I mean, talk about jumping to conclusions, right? The police start to cuff the boys, but Anita, who once again goes unnoticed by Bruce, lures the police away and beats the shit out of them, allowing Bruce and Freddy to escape. The car overheats a little down the road, and while fixing it, some cowboys run cattle past them.
Kung Fu cowboy?
No, Bruce, just a regular one. The cowboy is kind enough to shoot the handcuff off with no questions asked, and Bruce and Freddy find a bar.
What's your pleasure, cowboy?
Sake light.
Well, we don't got no sake light. All we got is sake natural.
I come all the way from California, and the only thing you got is sake natural?
I am surprised they have that. Bruce, for the second time in the movie, talks himself into a bar fight, and Anita reveals herself to be Wonder Woman and comes to his rescue. I'm not sure why she decided she needed the ninja get-up. Bruce doesn't seem to have any idea who this woman is throughout the entire movie. Even when we see the other two agents, they're not in black pajamas. The FBI agents split, and the rest of the bar is arrested. The next morning, they complain about the food, and Bruce offers to make his famous noodles using the flour. When the guard refuses, it's hard to argue with that, considering they let Bruce keep his drugs in the cell with him. Freddy tries to stop him, and they rip open a bag, and it hits the fan. Now, I'm a square. My drug of choice is bad movies, and as such, I have never done cocaine. But I kind of doubt this is the effect it would have on these people.
Where's that best little geisha house in Texas? I just went up the road here. What take you there? Oh, yeah.
And just like that, next stop Chicago, where the Polish Mafia hire a man with some very confused stereotypes and a fetish for whips.
That's for the village people. That's for non-dairy creamers. And that's for hee-haw.
How does every mafia in the country not only know the plan to deliver the coke, but the guy delivering it? The assassin is played by Bill Kirchenbauer, another stand-up comedian, and I think this guy deserves his own spin-off. He's obviously a master of multiple forms of weaponry, torture, martial arts, and infiltration. What the fuck happened in this guy's life to make him shout about things he doesn't like as he takes out these guards?
That's for yellow pudding. That's for bagpipes. That's for pina coladas. That's for kitty litter.
We will never know, and that saddens me. He is accidentally killed by Bruce, and I guess we can just assume his body and the unconscious guards he knocked out are just never found? While Bruce gets a massage, Carmen finally manages to switch out the last bag of coke. Yet another body no one will mention the next day. Jump cut to New York, where the coke is being tested, and the boss of bosses is not happy to see that it's just flour. He gives Freddy the kiss of death.
Goodbye, Freddy.
I've seen Godfather movie, but I hate to tell you this, boss. You don't kiss as good as Marlon Brando.
We never see Marlon Brando give a kiss of death in The Godfather. Maybe Bruce just found some things out while living in LA. Freddy stops the boss of bosses from shooting Bruce, and the two escape and search the city for a place to hide, getting separated in the process. So after a few more hijinks while separated, Bruce runs back into Freddy and saves him from a gang of ruffians by using an English to Jive phrasebook penned by the unfortunately named Yo Mama, which leads to translation issues like this.
Say blood. Give me 5, yo mama. Get down.
They are so impressed by his chutzpah that they let them hide in their sex toy storage room. I'm not sure what I'm allowed to show you here, so just take my word for it. It happens. Anita comes to their room and reveals herself to be the FBI.
Don't you recognize me? We met in Ginelli's bar.
And the sidewalk, and the bar, and the hotel.
She asks them to help bust the boss of bosses, and because there's only 3 minutes in the movie left, they agree. They meet back up with the boss of bosses, and along the way, Bruce somehow learned Kung Fu faster than Neo did in The Matrix. The FBI and police storm the place and quickly arrest everyone. With the boss in custody, Freddy is given amnesty and is put in a cab back to the West Coast. The film ends on a rather sweet note, with Bruce and Anita actually finding the beautiful woman his grandfather had told him about. But I'm not going to ruin that here for you.
Well, according to this.
And that's They Call Me Bruce. Marsh, what did you think?
I liked it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What was your favorite part?
His chin.
Good enough. Alright, you're released.
Yeah.
And that's They Call Me Bruce. This movie is a string of one-liners and dad jokes with some legitimately funny lines. There is almost nothing as far as behind-the-scene facts that I could track down, and in fact the whole production seems to have been in a bubble, with every actor and crew member having almost nothing of interest except this film on their IMDb page. But the whole cast seems like they are having fun throughout, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. If you're interested, it's free to watch on Amazon Prime, and it's definitely worth your time. There was a sequel, They Still Call Me Bruce, made about 5 years later, but that's for another episode. Thanks for watching.